Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Movies with Animals month. This time I'm reviewing a 2009 comedy, a romantic comedy from back in the late 2000s, starring Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Yeah, this is the 2009 film done by Touchstone Pictures, which is, owned by Disney. So this should be on Disney Plus in a few months or possibly next year because they put a lot of their PG-13 things, and this would probably make it. And that is The Proposal. Yeah, I finally saw this movie with my sister, and it's pretty decent. It's pretty funny. The animal in it is a little white puppy, dog named Kevin. And there's also an eagle in it, in like two scenes. But yeah, it's a very funny movie. Like, I didn't see this movie back in 2009 because I was not a Sandra Bullock fan after Speed 2. And I'd never found her really that funny. Like, most of the comedies that I like with her are when someone else is funny. Like Ocean's 8, I thought the rest of the cast was funnier than her. And also in Miss Congeniality, I thought the other actors were way funnier, like Ernie Hudson. Like, she just like tries to force it. But in this movie, like her, she has to do a proposal so she could stay. She's from Canada. Haha, that's a joke because Ryan Reynolds is actually from Canada. And in order to stay in the country, she either has to get a citizenship, get married to get a citizenship, or she has to she has to get deported. And basically, the hijinks ensue. Her and Ryan Reynolds pretend to be a couple. They go to their family, his family's home in Alaska. He meets a lot of the family members there. Yeah, and it's got a really good supporting cast. That's what saves this movie over some other films that Sandra Bullock has done. You have Betty White, who's like America's grandmother. She was adorable in the movie, very funny. Mary Steenburgen from Back to the Future 3 and Elf. She's really charming. You have Greg T. Nelson, the voice of Mr. Incredible himself from The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. And yeah, it says a Canadian executive who learns that she may face deportation from the U.S. because of her expired visa. Again, get a citizenship, guys. Get a dual citizenship. It's like getting the COVID vaccine. You shouldn't have to think twice about it. I didn't, and I'm safe now. Determined to retain her position as editor-in-chief of a publishing house, which, yeah, print is dead now. People just read ebooks now. She convinces her assistant, Ryan Reynolds, to temporarily act as her fiancé. There was another movie that came out in 2009 that had the similar premise, except for the deportation thing. And that was My Fake Fiancé, which I want to try to watch for the fall. This movie was directed by a woman. There's no freaking agendas here. There's no SJW man bashing or women bashing. Both the man and the woman in this movie are equal. I prefer Ryan Reynolds as an actor because he's much funnier. Like, his facial reactions and his dialogue just cracks me up. There's a line he says at the end of the movie that cracked me up. Like, I was like, he's like, "I want to. Will you marry me so I can date you?" Marry me so I can date you. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Usually, you're supposed to date the person before you get married, just to see how it goes. The film is a little bit long. I think you could trim 10 minutes of this movie and it would just make the movie go slower. There's two scenes that made me cringe in this movie, but I'll get to that. The film cost $40 million, 40, not 140, and it made $317.4 million. Massive hit for Ryan Reynolds before he did Deadpool. Development began in 2005. Yeah, that was because Sandra Bullock was trying to branch to doing comedies after Speed 2, but just very hit and miss. Like, for every movie like this, she did like 5 of the stinkers, like Speed 2 and that other movie she did with Bradley Cooper. What was it? All About Steve. Yeah, that's horrendous. That's her stalking a man, which is not funny. Bullock was nominated for a Golden Globe. I think that's a little bit too much praise. I think Ryan should have gotten it. He's a lot funnier than her. Her comedy peaked in this movie after her, like, she takes a shower, falls onto Ryan Reynolds, is like, "Oh my God, I can see all of you," and I'm like, okay, yeah, that was like the last thing she said that was funny. But it's mostly the dialogue that's funny. It was criticized for a screenplay. Again, it's not perfect, guys. There's some racism in it with the Spanish guy. Like, it's another Spanish stereotype. Oscar Nunez from The Office plays a Spanish stereotype. He works at a store and he strips on his downtime, which is a really awkward scene. The song is cool. Relax, don't do it. Dun, 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 do it. That song is pretty awesome, but him stripping down to a speedo and dry humping Sandra Bullock was really weird. Everybody in this movie touches her, like they touch her face, or they like rub against her, or Ryan Reynolds is patting her in the head like she's a puppy. I'm like, it's a little awkward. Like it's just kind of weird. That's the things that I didn't care for in the movie. They praise the chemistry between the two leads. Yeah, I'd rather take this over the him and the girl from Free Guy. So fuck you, Comer or Cumming or whatever your name is. I don't watch movies for Brits. This movie has no Brits. Yes, no Brits. And I know when I post this, it'll be 9/11, but who cares? It's a review. Whatchamacallit, the film was a box office success. It deserved it. It came out in June of 2009. That was a month after I moved here. And yeah, like I said, the cast is very funny mostly. You also have other people in the movie. You have Malin Ankerman, mwah, Silk Spectre 2 from Watchmen, gorgeous woman. I also liked her in The Sleepover. Very talented. She's not annoying here. That's good. She has a small Dennis O'Hare. I knew I've seen that guy before. I saw him in Into the Woods. He was in that show. He was in, I think, True Blood. Yeah, he's bisexual. Good actor, though. I like him. Michael Nouri is the publishing supervisor. Superior, and Asif Madvi is the editor that gets fired by Sandra Bullock in the beginning. It's a cameo because he was doing Spider-Man, well, The Last Airbender, not Spider-Man 2. He was from that. There was a remake of this movie? Where? There's a remake? There was a loosely based remake in Malayalam called My Boss. Is that India? Yeah, it's an Indian version. And there was a remake in... hold on. There was a Chinese remake co-produced by the Walt Disney Company, and it was announced in 2016. There was a Kannada remake called Software Ganda, and there was a Tamil remake in this year. That's another one from India as well. It's a set premise as has been done before. Two people have to pretend to be together so that they can get something done. Tamil, let's see. There's 3 movies from India that remade. They must really like this premise. It's a charming movie, though. Ryan Reynolds really makes it work for me. He's very funny. Just his expressions, and it's not gut-bustingly hilarious like Deadpool was, but for a PG-13, they got away with a lot of stuff. And it's got heart to it. It's not a man-bashing movie like freaking He's That All That or Fembusters or any of that shit. And I'm glad that Sandra Bullock said no to that. And while I'm not a super fan of hers, you know me, guys, because I like her in Speed, and that's pretty much it. Here, she's decent. I don't think worthy of an Oscar or a Golden Globe, but she's decent. The other scene that made me cringe is the scene with Betty White dancing, and she's like chanting because she's part Indian, and she's in this weird suit, which is really racist because it's a white lady pretending to be Native American. I'm like, yeah, that would not work today. Without racially sensitive people are now, that would never be allowed. It would be considered whitewashing. And also in that scene, Sandra Bullock is like rapping and twerking. I'm like, you don't need to show me your ass. I have Gal Gadot now. You can't even live up to her, measure up to her. Even with her worst movie, is still better than your worst movies. At least Gal didn't get a bunch of Razzie nominations. And also, Gal didn't twerk in a movie, even though Josh would see that and just be like, oh, hell yeah. Also, the movie is beautifully shot. You know, they have some nice locations up in the mountains in Alaska and Canada. And there's a small scene in New York, but they don't show the Twin Towers because it was after that. And also, like I said, the movie is got mostly a fun premise to it, and it works. And even though I'm not a super Sandra Bullock fan, it's a lot better than a lot of films I saw this year. It was better than Finding Ohana or freaking that Scooby film that I saw, or Vanquished, or any of that, because those were just awful. I didn't laugh or even smile, mostly. And yeah, the critics are like, it is cliche. You know what's going to happen at the end. You know, there's no third wheel in this movie. Thankfully, there's no other guy for Sandra Bullock, excuse me, that goes off with her. No, he's a guy on the phone that talks to her like twice, and that's it. And, he's going to marry, he's going to be with her at the end. Also, the post-credit scenes was a little bit too long. Like, they do the interview, they cut to fade to black, and then they show the end credits while the actors are, like, improvising or something. It says here, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds exhibit plenty of chemistry, but they're let down by the proposal's devotion to formula. Again, what formula do you want? This is not a thought-provoking comedy. This isn't Booksmart, where it was like, it's a coming-of-age story, and they have some freaking gay agendas in it for whatever reason, because I think all teens are like that. Here it's quick and painless, guys. And I like the performances here for what it is. Have we seen this kind of thing done before? Yes. But it's been done a lot worse, too. And also, for a PG-13, it's not as offensive as some PG-13 comedies now, where they have to throw in a political angle or gay agendas or a feminist agenda. No, this easily could have been gone south for me if it was feminist. If Sandra Bullock spent the whole movie being a bitch, it would have been unwatchable. But she learns to deal with it and learn to deal with the, living in the country, and it works. For what it is, it's a lot better than I was expecting. And while not perfect, it's still better than movies that came out this year. Any comedies that I had to sit through this year or last year. Like, I'd rather see this than Noelle any day, because Noelle was unfunny and you wasted a really good actress to do nothing. Anna Kendrick. But here, Sandra Bullock tries, and Ryan Reynolds is always adorable to watch. He's funny, charming, and he's just a really nice guy on screen. He doesn't play an asshole. He easily could have been one, but he's a really down-to-earth guy, and it's good to see him. And the other cast members I liked as well. And again, no Brits. You can do it. It's just back in 2009, they weren't casting everything English. Now everything has to be British or Welsh or from Ireland or something. It's always got to be some foreign people to be put in this movie. And granted, Ryan is from Canada, but he's not a Brit, guys. Just saying. It could be done. It's just people are lazy. Now, especially Disney. Oh my God, every movie they do has to have a Brit in it. Eternals is coming out. There's like 2 of them in there, or 3. And you just had Free Guy. That has 1. And you have freaking Jungle Cruise. It won't end. That's my problem. They won't give me a break to breathe. At least Dune has nothing to do with Disney, and it's not filled with Brits. There's like 1 or 2. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is my review of the proposal. There's some things you could have cut out. 2 scenes to make it go faster, and maybe a character or 2. But it's a fun movie. If you've never seen it, it's available on Peacock. You can watch it for free, so it's not painful. It's a lot better than other comedies I sat through this year. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.